It was.
Yeah, I know.
9/11. We're going to go to hell.
Yeah, there's a good possibility.
Oh, bro, I'm going to hell. It took me a good solid 5 minutes to get through that clip without laughing. But either way, let's go ahead and talk about the actual Guild War here. On the joyous of days, 9/12. We're not 9/11 no more, 9/12. So, first and foremost, what are we looking at here? Krau, Rule of Light, and Spector Tenebria. What's the big weakness that we see? Well, they're relying on revive shenanigans. What does Briar with Iseria do? My mere existence means that revival just straight up don't fucking work. And because we actually put a little bit of damage on her as well, and we went in with a very hard Straze hit, as well as a couple of AoE hits from the Briar Witch herself, and if I really got lucky enough, hopefully I would get to my Navy Captain Landy's turn, and then we would eventually, proc a salvo. That Spector Tenebria is fucking dead. So, case in point, it's, barely been 5 turns, and the match is already decided. Now it's just a matter of, do we do enough damage to actually kill this Rule of Light before we're able to get to a turn from Straze so he can use his S3 to just one-tapper. So, like, right here it looks kind of like, oh no, this looks kind of bad. No, it's really not. The reason why it's not is she can't revive. We're dealing with damage from both Navy Captain Landy and Briar Witch Iseria. We're dealing with like 3 hardcore damage dealers going into this unit. And she's dead before she even has a chance to try to like keep herself topped off with HP. So, that was that round, and now for probably my favorite match out of the entirety of this stupid fucking game. That being Lua, Senya, and Choux. So, I've done this before. I've done it numerous times. I will continue to do it, and you're probably not going to stop me anytime soon. But basically, when you come to fight the Lua, Senya, Choux, you can absolutely trivialize this team with a Shadow Knight Pyllis who has Rocket Punch, a Christy with some fairly decent ER, and a Roana just all in your wings and on auto. The reason why this works is because the only actual threat on the team is Choux. She's the only one. It's the only unit that can actually kill you. Main reason why is because she has Death Pin that's on her S2 attacks. That can go through a lot of the damage that's on your Shadow Knight Pyllis. And if you have a lot of effect res, as well as a lot of effect res from your Christy, you will never be death broken by the Lua. The Lua will always only go into your Shadow Knight Pyllis because she is the only unit that she can hit, due to element disadvantage being on the other 2. So, in a way, you don't necessarily need Roana. If you wanted to, you could do this with any other green unit, preferably a healer. So, like, you could throw Destina on there if you truly desired it. And, yeah, that'll work as well. It's just, you may not be able to auto it as efficiently because your Destina probably won't be doing S2s and S3s and things of that nature. You can kind of hold it and you can manual it a little bit better. Whereas, whenever you have Roana on the team, I have her on Celestine. Just any attack that she does, I also have her on a counter set, so any S1 that she does, hey, that's just a free heal. Hoorah! Ain't that just fucking based? Now, the Christy is really only important, like I said before, just so you don't get randomly death broken or reset by the Lua. Lua is really like the true annoying fucking unit that just needs to not exist, and it's because of this team that you can just auto this team. So now we've done enough damage with Rocket Punch being on the Shadow Knight Pyllis. The Choux is dead. She doesn't have enough sustainability that's really in her kit, because any Choux worth their salt is going to be built counter. They're never going to be on something crazy like Lifesteal or whatever. And even if they were on something wild and crazy like, say, Injury or something like that, I still don't think she's doing enough damage to really justify being a threat. She has to be on counter to be a threat, to do her S1, S2 follow-ups, to do enough damage to break through your Shadow Knight Pyllis. And if she can't break through your Shadow Knight Pyllis, they cannot win. Because the Lua is not a threat, she doesn't do any damage of any kind, and her debuffs aren't really a threat, and Senya doesn't do enough damage to be considered a threat either. Shazam, that's the team. Now, I just so happened to notice, oh hey, cool, let's go ahead and just pick a new set of units, and we'll try to 18 crew this. So right here is actually a pretty damn good opportunity to use Arunca. I was just afraid to do so because we're going into an Apocalypse Ravi. Lo and behold, this Apocalypse Ravi is not rocking Proof of Valor. So if I truly desired it, I could have brought Arunca into this. Because as soon as the Diene gets her S2 off, well, fuck. Now they have Barrier, and they're just going to be, like, annihilated in one shot. So, either way, I decided not to bring Arunca. We're going into a Diene, Apocalypse Ravi, and a Spector Tenebria. So the only true threat, because we used Hwayoung and her S3, along with attack buff, so with that, that Apocalypse Ravi's fucking dead. And if the Apocalypse Ravi is not dead, if she had, say, Proof of Valor, for example, she's going to be so ridiculously close to dead, or close enough that the Uberous Tooth would kill her. So, seeing as how she didn't have Proof of Valor, she's immediately dead. Now, all we have to do is we have to go into the Diene because we do not have the option to actually hit the Spector Tenebria. If we did, then all you'd do is just go into the Spector Tenebria, which you could bring like AoEs if you wanted to. I just decided, hey, I'll have Doris here to strictly tank any of the Spec Tenny hits, just in case I don't kill the Apocalypse Ravi. I also had Doris just for that. Honestly, I didn't really even need to use Doris here. I could have brought any other unit that I pleased. I could have honestly brought... I could have brought Spector... no, not Spector. Sylvan Sage Vivian into this. But, of course... If I were to look at it that way, hey, maybe I would take too much damage from the Spector Tenebria, because, like, straight up, the big nerfs that Hwayoung got were pretty fucking big. We still haven't gotten our chance to use S3 again. Like, that one additional turn onto her S3 cooldown, as well as just the big, massive nerfs that her S2 got, and the big nerfs that her S1 got. Now, right here was just a prime example of me not really paying attention, because I knew S3 wasn't going to kill this, because the damage that it does is just fucking piss weak. So keep in mind and look at that. Like, so yeah, that's 10.6k HP. I figured for sure, oh yeah, fucking Hwayoung's S3 is not going to kill that. But the big thing that I could have done is I could have just straight up soul burned the S3 and then gone in with the S1. So let's go ahead and take a look and see the damage that this does. Because her S3 is so fucking ridiculous. It either does huge damage or fucking nothing. So that right there, I'm willing to... It's close. I don't think it would have killed, but the Uberous might have done enough to maybe possibly kill. But either way, now let's go into the next fight here. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to use something that was fast, and something that could do attack buff, and something that could proc my Summertime Iseria. Well, looks like that's going to be Operator Sigret. So with Operator Sigret going, this really sets up my Summertime Iseria. We don't land one of our bombs, but thankfully she gets a free soul burn with her S1. So with that soul burn, I decided to throw it onto Kayron, and Shazam, now that he's bombed, he is fucked. Shazam, I have just won the fight. And the reason why I have won is because if you ever have a bomb that's on you, and then Summertime Iseria uses her S3, that is a guaranteed stun that's going to be on your enemy. Unless, for example, they are either immune to it, or they also happen to have immunity up. So, Kayron didn't have that. So, he's fucking dead. Now here we did just enough damage even though we didn't hit the Raz who was stunned. Because that's the big thing that Spez needs to do big damage, is he has to use his S3 into the units that are stunned. But hey, whatever, the Raz was so close to dead, didn't matter. He doesn't really deal damage. The Landy died in one single fucking hit, and the Kayron was put out of commission in the first, few seconds of the fight. Oh, goody, it's my favorite fight. Guys, don't pay attention to this. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and warn you now. If you do this shit that I'm doing, you will just fucking lose. Case in point.
Uh-oh, retard alert! Retard alert, class!
I had no cleanse, and Abyssal Crown on my Solitaria did not proc a single fucking time. Let's move on. Now, if I wanted to fight that fight again by using a completely unique team for every single round, I could have brought Shuna. Whatever, I didn't. Fuck it, we'll move on. So now we have Unbound Knight Arowell, Zio, and Savior Adin. Okay, seems pretty simple, because we have two light units that are going to be going into Dark Corvus, and then we also have Zio that's going to be going into whoever has the lowest health, because we don't have a light bait, and as well as his first attack going into whoever was the fastest on the CR bar. So that's going to be Lethe, and we'll also use this time now, because we were able to not be silenced in that particular moment. We can soul burn the S3, put a little bit of omen up on everybody, and then this is also used to tell who's going to have frostbite. So what we then have is Zio has Frostbite, and he has 2 turns of Omen. So what we'll do is we'll use Dark Corvus, go into the Unbound Knight Arowell, soften her up a little bit, because we don't have the souls to actually just kill her yet. So we'll do a little bit of damage there. Thankfully, we also were just low enough, or I had Provoke on the Zio. Can't really remember. But hey, we take that 2 hits from the Zio. Bam! We have Devil's Descent yet again. And because it was Lethe's turn to go into Zio, now he's fucking dead. Hoorah! Now, even if the Savior Adin was like a super hyper Giga Chad and did like shitloads of damage and it was her turn instead of my Destina's, I could use this time now to revive my Dark Corvus if he just so happened to die there. So then he would be at the top of the CR bar, and then as soon as he revives in, he would then be able to kill because he would have his Devil's Descent ready. We use this time, just go into the Savior Adin. Shazam! She is dead-deado. Now all that's left is the damage mitigator, Unbound Knight Arowell, with no fucking team. So when you have no team, and you're a damage mitigator, you take all the fucking damage. And I don't think I need to explain what the hell is going to happen now. That bitch is dead. And that is a Guild War with 18 units. Yay! Just don't pay attention to that almost last fight. Okay, so I guess I'll go ahead and I'll talk about that fight in general because I didn't include it in the video. The reason why it didn't work was I was going to do that with like a Spirit Eye Selene team, but I just wasn't feeling it at that particular moment. I don't know why. It probably would have worked if I decided to do that. But then there was also the fact that I just straight up my mind was locked into this sense of, oh, I have to use a light unit. Oh, I just have to. But like, let's actually think about this for a second. Who's your light unit? Okay, Solitary of the Snow. Okay, what happens whenever she doesn't have stealth? Oh, the Ravi just fucking kills you. You know? Sure, she was the last one on the field, but also no fucking Abyssal Crowns procced. Not a one. So there were no stuns on any of the field. The only stuns were from her S3. Whenever you're not getting, additional Abyssal Crown procs, you're just not getting any control that's going to really work in your favor, and you're not going to be able to stack up on injury. Now, if I had brought Shuna instead, the big difference really would have been I could effect resist check everybody else on that team with her S3 with a possibility of putting them to sleep. And then also, if I get, if I get provoked or anything like that from the opening hit from the Conqueror Lilius, I actually have a cleanse. So if you have a cleanse, well, it's not quite fucking over in the first fucking turn. But like, hey, such is the way in which of the game, man. Like, guys, I'm retarded. That's just like how it is. Sometimes you forget like some of the most basic shit, and you're just always like, oh yeah, like sure, he's probably going to get provoked. No, I'm going to believe in my 170 something ER. I'm totally not going to get provoked by this Conqueror Lilius, who's almost always going to be somewhere in the 280s or 300 fucking speed and the 150 or so like effectiveness like ranges. Yeah, that's totally not going to happen. It's going to be just fine. 15% will happen, and I'll be A-okay. Turns out I was not A-okay, and I just fucking lost for free. Inting, baby! But hey, guys, if you like this video, go ahead and please leave a like. And if you want to see more of my stuff, go ahead and hit subscribe. Hope to see you again soon. Later.